Good afternoon, YouTube. It's Tim Coleman again and his jet-powered Go Kart project. Been hard at it. Got a lot of parts in, made a lot of progress. As you can see there, I have my running fuel tank fully mounted. The mount is complete. Decided to do away with the big heavy steel bands and use straps. That black you see on the tank is anti-friction tape to help the straps keep from sliding. You can also see that I have the fuel control solenoids plumbed in, and here is my new refillable 1 pound tank. Yes, it is a regular 1 pound tank. It's about the same size as one of those throwaways, except this one is designed to refill. And I've got it plumbed in. There's the starting solenoid and there is the run solenoid. And I used some heavy rubber and some band clamps around the fire extinguisher bracket, since I had 2 channels there, and that thing is not going anywhere, and neither is this. There is a 1 by 2 inch piece of aluminum tubing underneath that bracket, underneath the fuel tank, with a little 90-degree steel corner bracket riveted in there, so that if the bottom of the fuel tank for some reason was to try to scoot, say the strap came loose or something like that, it could only scoot up against that. That steel bracket is riveted into this 1 by 2, and you can see this is riveted into the frame on this side, and there's one just like it on the opposite side. So it has plenty of rivets holding it. It's good and solid, and oh boy, I've got the power switch, safety switch as I call it. It's got the big red lever that you can just slap and turn it off. I'm going to start looking at some wiring options, but both of these tanks are plumbed in, and both of these tanks are full. I took them down to my local welding gas supplier and had them filled. So they are ready to go. And before anybody says anything about the safety of having a full propane tank in the house, it's going back outside after I get everything picked up here. I'm not going to leave them in the house, so don't worry about that. I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. So the old engine is just sitting there, just a quivering with excitement to sniff that fresh propane and get to chew on it. And that top bracket there on the steering support, I'm going to mount the switch, power switch, on that top bracket. I'm going to mount the ignition module on that support angle bracket down there. Spark plug is in, and I have here a Raja old school spark plug connector. It's got some strong springs on it and some A-cell 7mm high temperature silicon solid copper ignition wire that will run from the spark plug all the way up to the ignition module. The other side will be grounded to the frame. So we are making progress. There's my control solenoid that the switch is going to operate, and my push button on the steering wheel, which I've yet to really take a close look at, but I'll be mounting this somewhere on the frame and start looking at some wiring. It's going to be very simple wiring: a battery, a fuse, the switch, this relay, those two solenoids, and a push button on the steering wheel, and that will switch between starting and starting fuel and running fuel. So it's coming right along. I love it. I love it. I've had a heck of a time finding the right fittings, though. We don't have very good industrial supply around here, so I've had to make do with what I could find at which hardware store, and I've done pretty good so far. The installation could have been a little bit cleaner, but that's not bad. I can live with that. I can live with that. So anyway, from Flat Gap, Kentucky, this is Tim Coleman and his jet-powered go-kart project, bidding you a good afternoon, and thanks for watching.